Wake up.
Whoa,
It's time
ouch.
for another show.
You can hear that. Wow.
Hey,
Yikes.
Seminole State family. It's Nicole from the library in the house, and I'm here with...
I'm Information Jason, and then over there we have...
Oh, that's me. I'm Ross. Hey, how are you?
Okay.
All right, and we got a special guest
right.
waiting in the wings here. We're going to pop her in a moment, which gives us the thumbs up. But yes, we are back. The librarians at Seminole State College of Florida are here to bring you another research rally. That's every Wednesday at 4 p.m. We are bringing this show to you, talking about topics that help you with your academic journey. And today, we are being... Can I get a soundbite, Jason?
Choosy with your newsy!
I like it. Now I gotta clip that, take that other recording. Yeah, so we are gonna get choosy with our newsy. We are gonna talk about fake news, how to train yourself to spot fake news. So we're gonna look at kind of the general categories that fake news falls into as one starting way of helping you identify it. And then we're gonna look at 5 main clues that if you sniff those things out, it's going to point you and you'll be able to figure out, okay, this is probably fake news or this is definitely fake news. So how's everybody feeling today out there?
Oh, we're feeling really cool. Oh, we're doing very good, Nicole. Did you really slap your face?
All right, let's bring in, we got Carla P. Okay, Carla Peterson from the marketing department. It's been a while, guys, since we've had a special guest from around campus on a research rally. All right, Carla, can I see a thumbs up so I can pop you in? Hold the line.
Hold the line. You're getting a private chat. There it is. Hey!
All right, sound check. Are you there, Carla?
Oh, mic check.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Choosy with your newsy.
And we've invited Carla today, so thanks for joining us because Carla works in the marketing department. She works with news and social media here at the college. So she's a awesome person to chime in and talk about some of these points that we're going to talk about today. And lend her knowledge and expertise in that field that she deals with every day at work. Right, Carla?
Yes, I'm here to assist.
Okay, awesome. All right, so to start out, to put a context, fake news, there's lots of different ways to classify different types of fake news. But mainly, it all falls into one or more of the 4 categories that are scrolling across your screen there. So completely false, distorted, meaning it has some truth to it, but it's been distorted or twisted or changed somewhat. Clickbait, meaning it's just supposed to grab your attention to draw you somewhere where people are paying a lot for ads to make money. And then satire, which it's almost the same thing as parody, basically jokes. Okay, which is not that hard to mistake for truth, right? I mean, sometimes it depends. That's why we're training ourselves how to spot fake news. All right. Oh, we got Danny Johnson in the house. I don't see a link. My student ID. Oh no.
We'll
Danny
get you.
might be okay. Danny might be trying to get credit because if our Seminole State family that's in the IDS courses, if they attend a research rally, they can get credit for that. So.
We'll hook that up. Now we just started. Right. How's the link just starting right at the top? How's that working? You got to actually watch the show. So do we. We have to watch this thing.
We have to run the show. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So a clue to start with to spot fake news is if you find a piece of news and within that news article, and a lot of times, right, we're looking at it online. We're not in print anymore. If there's no links to legitimate sources, like that they're referencing information, then that could be a clue that they can't verify their claims. They're saying something that is fake. Now, Ross, you brought up, you had a good example of this just came up with you today helping a student.
Yeah, and I was just trying to pull it up so we could look at it together there. But I was working with a student today, and they sent me a website that they wanted to use for their project. And, we kind of were just talking through why this site might not be the best site for it. And one of the things I noticed right off the bat is that this website had a bunch of links all over the place. They had claims that they were making and they linked to stuff. And I could probably, I can definitely share it right now. Let me go ahead and do that. Perfect. So I shared the wrong screen. Of course I did. This should fix things.
All right.
But this is a website that caught my attention for one reason specifically. As I was scrolling through it, I said, wow, there's links. But when I started looking at this, all of their links go back to other pages on their own website. So they're not really providing any links at all.
Oh.
So their only evidence for their claims is really themselves. And that's really deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I would agree. So that means they're probably trying to sell you something. And what's the web domain on that, Ross? I can't see. It's too squinty. Is it a .com?
This is a .com website, and and you're absolutely right, Jason. They're a company that offers a service to you, and that's one of the things I question immediately. Is if somebody's selling me something, like I think they have an agenda, right? Like the way they're presenting their information, the way they're linking to things, like they have a goal. So little things like that, I can't verify any of their claims because the only evidence they gave me is their own point of view.
Okay.
All right, so that's one. We got that one out of the way.
We got that one out of the way. So that's kind of an easy thing to spot, I think. All right, and the second clue is that the fake news appeals to your emotion. So if you start reading the piece and you start to get like angry or incensed, or even if you feel a sense of like gratification, like I knew it, like I knew it, like I've been saying that all along. You start to get piped up with emotion. That's a clue that they're using language and other tools to like make you be emotional. I'm sorry, emotional. Where's the heart?
Where's the heart? Wait, that's a whole episode. Where's the heart?
Emotional. Emotion down here, thinking up here. So they're trying to get you to think with your heart and not your head, or to think about, wait a minute, let me think about this. Is this the right thing? So it makes it harder to sniff out. And I think that's one of the most common fake news categories that I see, because it's so easy to forget about. It's so hard to put your emotion aside. Yeah. Ross, you had another great example, and anyone else has an example, chime in. Like what you were talking about the other day, is that someone in your family keeps sending you articles?
Yeah, my mom, she sends me stuff all the time without ever checking it and stuff too. But like, where I think about this too is like, you instantly stop paying attention to the quality of the information if it agrees with you, right? Like you go, yeah, I think that's right. And like your brain just automatically kind of shuts off at that point too. And like the same thing can happen in the opposite direction, right? Like, I mean, you read something that makes you angry and you go, yeah. And you don't even stop to consider, like, wait a minute, like what are the claims that they're making here that I disagree with? Maybe there's some, some truth here, or maybe there's some, merit to this argument. So that's one of the first things that I always run into with fake news is like, how do we get over that hump of like, what do we feel about this information? Like we have to be judicious with it still, even if we do agree, or if it makes us angry, we have to go that step further just to verify everything. Might check out.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm gonna ask Carla this, because I'm sure now Carla, being that she presents news from the college,
yes,
there are times when you have to like use emotion to appeal, to get people to like maybe to be more apt to look at news stories about what's going on at the college and things. But can you kind of walk us through how that differs from like using emotion for like fake, like that it's not fake? Like how can you kind of
Sure.
illustrate that for us?
So just an example, now I'm writing an article for an alumni couple that graduated from here a couple years back. They both got their AS degree in computer programming. And I want to appeal to the general audience so that they get a sense of, you can come here and leave as a different person with a great degree to help with your income, to help with your family. But I want to back that by science. I want to ask them, where do they work? What were the classes that they took? I want to back that by actual facts that are measurable as well. So I feel like that's one of the best examples as well, where you just want to back it up with something that's concrete and measurable and has been verified,
Okay. Because once again, you can't put out something that's completely false.
Sure.
Right.
And I can't say that they're a CEO to get more students,
Right. And that's still not distorting information. So that's an awesome illustration of that. And listen, I just want to point out, guys, this is something that doesn't happen often in Research Rally, but right now, if you're looking at Jason Jason's screen, he is live and active librarianship right now. He is on chat, right?
We're chatting all the time, yes, and then searching for other things too. You know, when you talk about satire, there's going to be a lot of different locations you can go. The Onion is going to be one, and the Atlantic magazine is going to be one, and so there's a lot of. We're jumping ahead, but yeah, I'm chatting. I'm looking over here. We got someone in the chat over here. So yeah, so
yes, that's a spinning plates. That's the life of a librarian. Okay. Sure. So another sign of a clue of fake news, how you can spot fake news, is that the authors aren't usually experts in the topic they're talking about. They could be paid trolls. They could just be someone that like gets contract work to like write articles for a website, like literally like hundreds a day just to try to catch attention and whatnot. So that's another clue, is that authors aren't usually experts. And I think if you go to like the about section of websites, you can kind of sniff around that those experts aren't writing the articles, or even in like underneath the article itself where it says author. If you can't find more information about that author, then they are probably a paid troll or someone that's not an expert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and you know something that you say there is like, it's not always a problem that the author is not an expert. Like for journalism, right? Like often the journalist isn't the expert on the topic. But where you get into trouble is when you have there's a website I have here that I think would work. Let me see if I can show this here. This is actually a fake teaching website here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. It's all about it's been around for forever. It's about dihydrogen monoxide research, all this stuff here, which if you think for a second there, really what this is all about is 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. It's water, right? And as you go through here, you can start to dig for some information. And the author here, this guy, Tom Way, when you start looking at his credentials, he has a PhD in computer science. So that's where you start to question this. I go, oh, okay, well, he's got a lot of expertise and educate, but he's writing about water. And like, what does that have to do with his computer science education there? So sometimes, they can be an expert, but in something else too. So that's something to be mindful of.
Right. And we can maybe even look at some of the top headlines that are happening. What do we got? The balloons and balloons, UFO balloons or spy balloons. And then we could just put a game in here and see, let's do a keyword and then take a look at the results and just kind of go back and forth and see what's what. Or you had something else on your list there? Did I already ruin satire?
Oh, no. You were the segue or the preamble to satire. Okay. Well, the next one on the list can't be found anywhere else. So that's like if you see a headline and you're like, wait a minute, like I'm Googling it and nobody else is reporting on this. I found one, I have an example, I have it on my phone. Like I didn't Google this, but I didn't have to. Okay. So Michael Douglas's expensive divorce makes history. And I was like, I would have heard about him divorcing Catherine Zeta-Jones like on my YouTube feed.
That would have gone viral or something,
Yeah, and then notice there's also an ad. I can't point right to it, but there's an ad under there. Okay.
Well, what was the link? Can we share it? I have something here. Is this what it is?
Familythis.com. I don't even want to go to that on my phone. I don't want to get a virus.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all.
No. And it's a picture anyway, so I can't click on it. It's a screen cap. And then, okay. Can't be found anywhere else. Oh, another clue on a fake site. Ross, did you have one of those fake sites pulled up? I don't even want to go to that on my work computer.
What's a fake site?
This is a perfectly good example of a fake site.
Okay, but
nothing on this website is real. So everything on here, if you read through it, like you will think that water is causing cancer. There's even the skull and crossbones on this.
Wow, that's legit.
None of this is real. And if you do a little bit of digging into this site, you'll find out that this is kind of a satire website.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Jay. Yeah, was a segue to Jason.
So that's okay. So let's clear out that one and let's play a little game. So let's pop open. You got Nicole from the library. Let's add that one to the stream and let's type something in. Let's just do a bunch of different words. Do robots, Do robot dogs take over? Robot dogs take over.
Robot
These
dogs.
I don't know. Is
Take
that too
over.
far away with the way that AI is taking over? I don't know.
Let's see who. Okay, so the very first thing that comes up is End Gadget, robot dogs. Okay, Spot. Okay, ZDNet, Texas Monthly. It's okay to fear the dogs. Okay, that's a Texas Monthly. Spot. Okay, so maybe it's too literal. Shala, 2020. Okay, and is that in the news or is that just the stream? How about just robot dogs? Let's do robot dogs.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So let's just see. Okay, so we're on. Where's the news? Click on the news one.
Oh, okay. The news tab.
Yeah. Okay, dancing dogs can happen. Viewers worry that the dogs will kill them. Now that doesn't. There we go. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where that would have come from. And then what is enough to know that this author knows anything about the robots, as if to say that they've become sentient? And why, Jason? I think that that's going to be a satire or not a real. Or
I think it could be.
It could be all of them. It doesn't.
Yes, because remember, it can it can check more than one category. Mm-hmm. So it could be satire, parody. We'd probably have to go to the about, because the satire parody site, which I've got another one pulled up real quick. The Onion, you've probably heard of it. Many people have heard of it. This one, it sounds kind of real. Like that headline about the Jason Derulo, like that. Oh, no, Verizon. That sounds real. Like, I believe that people are probably afraid of like robot dogs killing them, right? So it's got my emotion. I also believe maybe a Florida mom packed a little manifesto in a child's lunch. At first glance, that headline sounds real. That's why, like, how satire and parody works too. It like pulls you in because it's like making fun of something. It's based on truth. If it wasn't based on truth, it wouldn't even be funny.
And another problem off of that, so I'll jump streams here and then come over here. So this is Yahoo News, and so we're starting to scroll down here. So we have this is a sports story, but look right underneath. Do you see very, very tiny? What's over here? What is it? It's right here. It's an ad.
Clickbait?
It's an ad, but it's mixed in. It's mixed in with the story. So now you have sports. This is Yahoo Sports. Ad, US. Now we have something else here. As you continue to scroll down, they intersperse the ads in between. So here you have Reuters. But if you look over here on the side, now you have a horoscope, a scoreboard, AccuWeather. Here's Merrill. This is sponsored by Merrill, right? So they want your money on this. But can you tell what's the difference between the news headline and the ad? It's very difficult. You're just being bombarded here. All these are ads. So you're like, oh, Prime is now whatever, but that's not a story. That's an advertisement. It says so over here, but it looks almost the exact same here. So I would argue that that's even fake news. Even the advertisement now becomes a fake news. And the clickbait, I think the clickbait goes to our friends at the Daily Mail, Nicole. That's always going to be clickbait, because it's just going to be should we even look at the Daily Mail? I don't even know.
I already got it up.
Oh, you got it? Okay, great. So let's find one that's going to be really cringe. Okay, so we have breaking news there. So we have a passing of a legend there. So breaking news. Maybe go to the entertainment. Maybe go to the entertainment one, and let's just see, because they usually put really cringy titles. See if there's like a Giselle or some. What about the Jennifer Lopez Daily Mail? Anything? Is anybody watching? Do we have any watchers? Any viewers?
Well, here's this. Okay, so here's a story that kind of has like some political implication, which is a whole thing in of itself, right? And that's one of the categories that like you can really get emotionally charged up about, because everyone usually is on like one side or the other, or more on one side of the spectrum or the other. So a lot of times politically charged figures or stories are used to like incite the emotion like this. But here, this is, I think, definitely a distortion. Probably not completely false, but it's definitely a distortion, because why do they have to talk? Why do they have to do this? This headline is like what? Like a whole paragraph. So they're trying to get super gossipy right up front about what's going on with this person.
Correct.
Okay, they're using a nickname, so that's kind of a way of like degrading someone.
It's
so whether
biased.
or not you believe,
right, it's bias.
The bias, and we definitely need to talk about.
And so this is the way the headline should read. So we're going to switch really quick from the Daily Mail to the Associated Press. Now, if you look at this top news story, Elon Musk hopes to have Twitter CEO toward the end of the year. Boom, done. End of the day. There's no commentary. There's no bias. It's exactly that. Here's number 2. TikTok de-influencers want Gen Z to buy less and more. This is how news headlines should be. They're right down the middle. They're not leaning one way or the other, Republican, Democrat, or anything like that. It's just very right to the point. Oh, what was the last one? Here it is. This is exactly it. Sorry for the toggle. Rumors swirl about balloons, UFOs as officials stay mum. Now, if you go back to yours, Nicole, and click on any of the balloon stuff, as you mentioned, it's going to be like this giant paragraph where they're like, we have proof, or the Sun, or any National Enquirer, any tabloid rag. Those are clickbait city. They were built on clickbait. But this is the way it should be. The Associated Press is a credible, reliable source, and Amazon unit. Okay, so look how short it is. It's like old school Twitter almost. It's like, here, summons to New York. Great. And here's a little bit of the story. Boom. And that's the way it should roll. So this is where that's not the fake news. That's the real news. But some of these other stories, and I think, Ross, on that one page that you had where it was like all the different things, sometimes the bells and whistles are bad. As we saw on the Yahoo page, having too much clutter on the web page is making you go, oh, news story, news story. It's actually an ad. And they're actually trying to get you. And every time you click on it, somebody's getting money, right?
Yep.
How about on social? What do you see on social, Carla? That's going to be, is it shares? Is it somebody who shares? Now we're getting into misinformation. Disinformation would be a strategic, specific campaign, usually used in warfare or usually used in politics to make people think one thing, right? But misinformation is like, they found aliens in those balloons from the other thing. It's like, no, I didn't. There's no that. So what do you kind of see?
I definitely see that. I see that people are emboldened enough to even tag associations and big organizations as to credit their crazy claims. They'll tag us in some outlandish thing. I think social media, it just has that really weird environment where you have the freedom to tag, to mention things, and that becomes therein clickbait in that post for the views, for the clicks, it's insane to what's happening out there in social media. That is,
and that's really what's changed the landscape. Like, that makes disinformation and misinformation and fake news such a big deal because it can get propagated so quickly, spread so quickly,
so
easily.
Right. So here's an article from last month, January 2023, from the University of Southern California. A study reveals the key reason why fake news spreads on social media. And if you take a look at this, we're going to start to see this. Now, once again, misinformation really is a function of the structure of the social media sites themselves. So this is basically saying that the apparatus is there. Right? It's there, and it's kind of like, well, what else are you going to do nowadays? Well, maybe you throw that out. Maybe you're trying to get some likes. Maybe you're just sharing it just to make yourself look better, And here's another good one here. Who's to blame for fake news and what could be done about it? I mean, I think we're kind of swimming in this era now where everybody has the capacity to just put out this information. So again, as librarians and as marketing professionals, communication specialists, what we want to do is we want to make sure that you evaluate all of these sources, right?
That's what we do all the time.
Who is the author? Right? Where is this coming from? What is the site? And if it's like Jason, Ross, Nicole, Carla, we're all the coolest people in the world. Or
that's a bias.
Whatever.
That is a bias. I share that bias.
But you can buy a website.
In my book is a fact.
The problem with it. There we go.
She's a Snopester. She said that's a fact, girl. Okay.
Well, have we done Snopes yet?
I've been convinced. No, confirmation bias confirmed. Okay.
So here's Snopes. Here's Snopes. This is a website where you can check facts. And this is a good game to play. So here's an example. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's do what's happening. Oh, media literacy. How ironic. This stuff is explained. They explain what's going on. Snopes, tips, why we care if research is peer review. The fallacy of goalposts. Okay, all right. Well, let's take a look. And they basically break this down. They've been breaking it down for years. The fact check. So let's see if we have something that's more topical and more universal here. Oh, there we go.
Oops.
There we go. So somebody somewhere must have said that it was a PR stunt. So they're basically saying, no, this claim comes from a satire website, which is exactly what we're talking about here. So Snopes recommended, right? And you can always find out more about Snopes, contact us and see kind of what their deal is. But it usually pops up when I look on Google News. Google News towards the end, there's usually a fact check on the bottom. In fact, I could probably
they put it there right there usually for you.
Because I probably... Oh, okay. Google News cannot be reached. Okay.
What is going on? Aren't you on the Ethernet?
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
and before we kind of start to wrap up, okay, setting aside your bias as a reader, your bias and emotion, that's important. Recognizing that bias and emotion goes into producing headlines and articles. That's like it's like a back and forth. You have to like be cognizant of both and check both. And another key point is reading beyond the headline, because I'm going to share, and I know Jason, you got the screen share up, but I got,
share it.
Listen. All right. You got to read behind the headline. Because where's my, okay, look. Rihanna. Clickbait. Why didn't Rihanna get paid? And I was like, why didn't Rihanna get paid? Well, nobody gets paid to perform at the Super Bowl. So once I read past beyond the headline, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That makes perfect sense. And I was like, I got clickbaited and I felt silly. But, hey, we're all human here.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing. I don't know if you saw our thumbnail, but I got to point this out. Listen. Fake eyebrows. There's fake eyebrows on our thumbnail, and there's fake eyebrows on Black China trying to call me. Okay, we got to talk about this because I like the makeup, I like the look, but the eyebrows are way too high. If the eyebrows are up in the middle of the forehead, they're fake. Okay, that's fake eyebrows.
Just really quick on the Google News, you can see on the bottom here, they do have fact check sources from independent sources. One would be from Snopes, one is actually from USA Today, and another one is from News Mobile. And they give you the headline, they give you the claim, and then the fact check results, true, false, misleading. So you could see right there the benefit of something like this. And this pops up on Google News to help you. So whether you're now, one has to question what's the trust of that independent source, right? And it just continues to go on and on and on. So always evaluate your sources. The worst one is going to be any .com. But as we saw what Ross pointed out earlier, there could be a site where somebody has a PhD, but bro, your PhD is not in what you're talking about. So I always say with the students, I'm a librarian, I'm an information professional, but you get me up in the airplane and the pilot says, hey, can anyone fly this pilot? Does anyone have any master's degrees? And I'm like, I do, but I can't fly that plane. So anyway,
not an expert in the field or in the sky.
No, I'm not an expert on the eyebrows either. That seems to be your deal. I don't know. Ross and I look like deer in headlights. We're like, what's
my eyebrow game is that's not my area of expertise. Obviously, it's Carla's, but I do know when their placement is. No, you. They look amazing. I don't do my eyebrows. Okay, like honestly, everyone's probably noticed before. Okay, no one's put it in the comments, but I know you noticed. But Carla,
yes,
navigating social media. Now, I do want to shout out. If you are watching the live stream or the replay and you have not followed Seminole State College on,
please do.
Yes, Facebook, Carla. There's also
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which TikTok. What else? Okay. Facebook and Instagram is where we're gonna post like all the things that are happening on campus, any important dates, when to submit your ITG, when to file for FAFSA, all that stuff. We're always trying to remind students and parents, whoever's tuning in, about important things happening.
Yeah, so question everything. Don't just think that you read it on the website and then it's legit. It might be fake, it might be a satire, or it might be something that's trying to get you to pay some money or something like that. And
get comfortable with hearing the opposite opinion too, because that'll help you learn deeper, When you're reading an article, there should be an opposing opinion somewhere in there, and then you'll know, okay, at least they're bringing up the opposite. Okay.
Or check to see if they sourced another study, like we saw in the USC article. It was full of other sources and stuff. So yeah, let's get a round of applause for ourselves. Thank you to
Carla. Thank you, Carla.
1 billion watchers. Thank you all very much. It's been another episode of Research Rally. Thank you all very much.
Oh my God. If you see a Sussburger, you just turn and run, okay? Peace.